Good morning, everyone. This is David. I just finished grading Lesson 1 materials, and so I thought I would just give you a brief video on some of the findings that I had in the first week to help you get started in the second week, maybe a little faster and certainly with more clarity. So I wanted to chat briefly about this. By the way, this will be the last time I will probably ever send an email out. And so what that means, a broadcast email. If I have some individual things I need to talk to you about, I'll send one out that way. So make sure that you log into your CSU email account. But this will be the last broadcast for general information that I'll send out. From here on out, everything that I want you to see as a general group in the class will be in the announcements section of the course. So make sure that every single time you log into the course that you look at the announcements. Right now there are probably 6 or 7 announcements in there, but by the end of the class, in week 7, there'll probably be 30 announcements in there. So it will be the mechanism that I'll use from here on out to communicate, to place these videos. Again, I try not to waste your time, so make sure that every time you log into the course that you look at those announcements. Okay? I want to talk briefly about discussion boards. The first lesson had 2 discussion boards, and then you had a quiz. Subsequent lessons will have either 1 discussion board and 2 applications, or 2 discussion boards and 1 application. So that's the way that it'll be kind of set up in this course. So I want to talk briefly about discussion boards, and I want to highlight some of the things that some of you kind of missed in the first discussion board. So I want to make sure that I'm really clear on that. One is that even though it's a discussion board, I expect you to use proper APA. And by proper APA, I mean that I want you to use in-text citations. So you have the author name in the parentheses and the year that you have. Make sure that you put that in the body of your discussion, because it's important for me, it's important for fellow classmates to see where you're using someone else's thoughts and words. And then also make sure that you have a references section in your discussion board that'll have the author's name, the year, the title of the article, the journal that the article was placed in, and then all the other journal information that's included as part of that. Now, you may think this is kind of silly to have in discussion boards, but one, I want you to get used to APA, and then secondly, since research is such a big component of graduate studies, it's important for you to share your sources. Because if you don't share your sources, then it's assumed that they're your original ideas. And if they're not your original ideas, you can't treat them as such. That's called plagiarism, and plagiarism is nasty, nasty, right? So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you use proper APA citations in the body, and then references. Plus, the other thing is, it's always good to have research out there, because you may have a research article that a fellow classmate could use in a project down the way, and so it's nice to have that information so that they can use it as well. Okay, so that's a little bit about this. Here's one thing really important. Make sure you hear me on this. Your first or initial post, to the discussion board has to be in by Friday every week. And so if you have 2 discussion boards, you have to have 2 initial posts, 1 for each one, in by Friday each week. And as I've mentioned before on the videos, the reason this is important is if everyone waits till Sunday night at 11 p.m. to put their initial post, there are no posts to respond to that are out there. So make sure, I counted off some points in the first week, and I'm going to count off more and more as we go along. So make sure that you have those in by Friday, the initial post in for every discussion board by Friday. Let's talk just briefly about APA. I have several videos that I have in Lesson 1 on APA, and so I would encourage you to look at that. Look at the other places where you can get APA information. There's an APA ebook in the class. I gave you a link to Purdue OWL, which is a great source for APA. And then as we get started this week, we're going to be getting into the meat of the course. And so you'll see in the ebook that we have for this course, I have actually 13 books. And those 13 books are rolled up into one big ebook. And to help you out with that, under doc sharing in the course, you'll see that I have the citations for MSOM 601 included in there. So all 13 of those books that we use in the big ebook, I've given you the proper APA reference citation formatted properly for those. So there should be absolutely no excuse if you use any of the sources in any of the books that I have in the ebooks to format those improperly using APA. I've done the work for you. It's included in doc sharing in the course. So make sure that you look at that. So that's APA. The quiz that you took in the first week opened up today, so you can go back in, see your results. And I would encourage you to continue to look at that course, look at the information in there, because when I put those together, those were actually the top 20 items that I would find that students would have challenges with as they got started in the course. All right? And then finally, research. Discussion one, discussion in lesson one, discussion two was all about finding peer-reviewed research at the CSU online library. Now, I would encourage you to continue to go in there and do some unique things. I mean, go in and search for different things, narrow your search, make your search broader. And one of the key things I always like to tell students, your research article doesn't have to be exactly what your topic is about. And so, for example, if you're doing a research thing on critical thinking, you may find an article on critical thinking in high school. And you're going, hold it, that's not what I'm talking about. Well, if you look at it this way, there could be some critical thinking applications that the person who wrote that article had or used that you could use in your research project. So just because the title of the article does not match the title of what you're looking for does not mean that they don't apply. I mean, for heaven's sake, in my doctoral work, I was required to put together 200 peer-reviewed articles, and many of the articles that I was using, still haven't finished it yet, but that I was using in there had absolutely nothing to do with the topic, but there were some themes in there that I was able to use their research to apply to my topic. So again, sorry to beat this dead horse, don't just think that if it's a research topic that's on something totally different, there may be some themes included in there that you will be able to use. All right? Hopefully this helped you. I'm going to be hopping out and going down to the Texas Hill Country, and hopefully I'll be able to shoot a couple videos down there. In the meantime, the videos that you're seeing in the lesson recaps will continue, and many of those I shot last term. So if there's some dates in there that sound kind of funny, the information is still accurate, it's still valuable, and it's still good. It's just that I shot them last term. My next big trip isn't until October the 4th. And so you'll just have to deal with me with a white background and other things in the meantime. All right? If you have any questions about any of my comments the first week, make sure that you bounce me an email and we'll get in touch. And then finally, I forgot this. Some of you still haven't set up your initial telephone calls with me. Many of you have, and I look forward to starting those tonight. The first one will be tonight. But if you haven't set up the telephone calls with me, send me an email. Give me 3 available times this week when you can chat. Make sure you give me your phone number, and then I'll confirm, send back the email, and we will connect sometime this week. I want to get to know you better, and I also want to answer any questions that you may have about the platform, about the course, and so on and so on. All right? Have a good rest of your day. If you have any questions, make sure you contact me. Thanks. Take care.